Today, we are talking about ovulation pain, discharge, and bloating, and what the symptoms actually mean when you're trying to conceive. If you ever wonder, is this normal? Did I miss my fertile window again? Or felt the pressure of another cycle slipping by while your body doesn't follow the rules? This episode is for you. I'll help you understand how these ovulation symptoms fit into your unique cycle so you can stop guessing, stop chasing generic advice, and stop losing precious opportunities to try. Grab a notebook because what you're going to learn here could change how you approach this very cycle. Do you long to get pregnant and trust your body again? Do you feel exhausted by the month after month cycle of hope and disappointment? Do you carry that creeping sense of failure? The fear that your body just isn't working the way that it should? If so, I'm so glad that you're here, my friend. Hi, I'm Mariana, a wife, mom, and a fertility care practitioner. After years of confusion and heartache, I learned how to understand my cycle with clarity and move towards pregnancy naturally by following a real system instead of guessing. This is Fertile Window Lab. If you're ready for real clarity about your cycle, a simple method that works, and less pressure from predictions, alarms, and fertility gymnastics, sit down the sticks, pop in your earbuds, and let's make sense of your fertility together. Trying to conceive doesn't have to feel this confusing. I send weekly fertility encouragement and practical insights to help you understand your body and move forward with confidence. Join my email list. The link is in the show notes. After teaching hundreds of women how to track their cycles and tracking my own for many years, I can tell you this with confidence. A lot of women experience discomfort or pain around ovulation, and most of them don't know what to make of it. And when you're trying for a baby, not knowing what to make of it doesn't just feel confusing. It feels costly. I have women tell me, I thought my period was coming again. I wasn't sure if I was imagining it. Or even, I wonder if something else in my body was malfunctioning. Especially when month after month, you're doing everything right and it's still not pregnant. And honestly, I've been there too. It wasn't until I started intentionally tracking my cycle that I noticed a pattern. Certain sensations, especially pain, were lining up consistently with other ovulation signs. The pain can feel different for different women. Sometimes it's low, on the left or on the right side. Sometimes it's more general, like pressure or heaviness. And often shows up right around the same time discharge increases. That discharge is not random either. It's one of the earliest clues that something important is shifting in the cycle. Discharge can be confusing at first. Some women notice it very soon after the period, especially in shorter cycles. Others don't see it until around day 10 of their cycle or later. In longer cycles, it can feel like it takes forever to show up. And then there are women who say, I always have discharge. How do I know which one matters? Learning to distinguish ordinary discharge from ovulatory type discharge can be incredibly empowering. Bloating is another piece of this. In my own cycles, ovulation sometimes brings bloating, and I had to learn not to spiral when my clothes suddenly fit different for a day or two. Hormonal shifts can do that. For some women, bloating shows up around ovulation. For others, it's more a premenstrual sign. What changed everything for me and for my students was realizing that these signs are not random, but they're also not identical from woman to woman. After seeing hundreds of cycles, one thing is very clear. Every woman has her own pattern. What matters isn't just that pain, discharge, or bloating shows up, but when, how long, and how intense it is. Is the pain outside of the ovulation window? Does it last hours or days? Is it mild discomfort or severe enough to cause fainting or vomiting? Those details matter. This same goes for discharge. Daily tracking allows me and the medical professionals to evaluate whether we're seeing reflex of healthy ovulation or something that needs attention. Bloating that lingers beyond a couple days, especially when combined with other biomarkers, can help us know when it's time to involve an opera physician. This is why I don't dismiss symptoms and I don't panic over them. When you know your patterns, your body starts to make sense. What once felt confusing becomes useful information. So let's slow down and break it apart. Because once you understand what these symptoms are communicating, the fear around them begins to loosen. Let's begin with ovulation pain. Ovulation pain is one of the symptoms that creates the most anxiety, especially when you're already watching your cycle closely and wondering if you're missing something. The name for it is middle tremors or middle pain. It affects 40% of women and it typically shows up as sharp or dull ache, low in the abdomen, often on one side, and around your fertile window. It can last from a few minutes to a couple days and it often appears alongside increased discharge. Here's the reframe most women never hear. Ovulation is a physical event, not a silent one. The ovary stretches as the follicle grows, and when the egg is released, fluid can irritate nearby tissue. That sensation doesn't automatically mean something is wrong. It often means ovulation is happening. Fear sets in when pain is experienced without a context. Without understanding your cycle phases or tracking patterns, it's easy to jump into, is this a hormonal imbalance? Did I miss my fertile window? Is my body failing me? Pain by itself isn't the problem. Pain without timing, pattern, or context is. This is why tracking matters, especially when you are trying naturally and want clarity instead of guesswork. Once you know when ovulation pain shows up, how long it lasts, and what it appears with, it stops being a source of anxiety and it starts becoming useful information. Ovulation pain isn't the enemy. Lack of context is. And this same principle applies to discharge. Discharge is one of the most valuable fertility signs your body gives you, and it's one of the most misunderstood. Many women assume there is a right day when fertile discharge should appear, or they expect their cycle to follow a perfect 28 timeline. But cycles are variable. Discharge does not show up on a universal schedule. Some women see it as soon as their period ends, others not until day 10 or later. In long cycles, it may take much longer. This variability is normal. Frustration creeps when women are taught to pay attention to a calendar instead of their biology. When you expect ovulation to follow a template instead of your body, you can feel like you missed your fertile window, second guess your timing, and assume something is wrong when it isn't. And if you've been trying for months, that can feel devastating. Another common question is, I always have discharge. How do I know which one matters? Not all discharge is the same. Its quality changes, and those changes matter. Ovulatory discharge reflects rising estrogens and fertility. Other types may simply reflect baseline patterns or inflammation. Discharge doesn't just tell you ovulation is approaching, it helps you understand when your body is actually fertile, which is far more reliable than assuming a specific day. Without understanding this, the cause isn't just emotional. It can mean another cycle where timing could have been different. Another month wondering, did I miss my window again? But when you learn to read discharge with your own cycle patterns, clarity replaces confusion. Discharge becomes clear when you stop asking what date it should happen and start observing when it does. And this brings us into bloating. Bloating can feel especially discouraging when you are trying to conceive because it's visible, uncomfortable, and easy to interpret as your body working against you. Many women assume bloating means I ate something wrong, my body's off, or their hormones are sabotaging them. But bloating, like pain and discharge, is often hormonal. For some women, it happens around ovulation. For others, closer to the premenstrual phase. Sometimes it lasts a day or two and resolves. The issue isn't bloating itself. It's not knowing when it's happening, how long it lasts, and what it appears alongside with. Without context, bloating turns into discouragement. But when bloating is observed alongside timing and discharge, it becomes part of a larger pattern. Persisting or worsening bloating, especially paired with other biomarkers, can signal that something deserves closer evaluation. Without understanding this, it's easy to feel defeated or to miss early clues that could guide supportive care. When pain, discharge, and bloating are understood together, they form a story. And now let's talk about how to use a story. If you're listening and thinking, this is a lot, I'm going to need to re-listen, let me say this first. You don't need to remember all of this today. What matters most is learning how to observe your body differently. so you're no longer guessing or second guessing every cycle. So now, let's get tactical. Ovulation pain needs to be tracked, not ignored. So what you need to do is to notice, describe it, and track it. Do not dismiss it or dramatize it. Track when it shows up, where it's located, how intense it is, and how long it lasts. Because ovulation pain can be normal, but it can also be informative. Pain that is outside of ovulation window, increasing in severity, lasting multiple days, interfering with daily life should be evaluated. Tracking prevents both panic and neglect. Start simple. Note the cycle day, location, sensation, and duration. Over time, you establish your normal. Point number 2. Cycle length changes and how you read discharge. Know your cycle length and stop forcing your body into a template. A general framework: a short cycle is under 25 days. A normal cycle is about 29 to 35 days. A long cycle is over 35 days. Following advice for a perfect 20-day cycle is one of the fastest ways to miss your fertile window and assume something is wrong when it isn't. Cycle length affects when discharge appears, how long the fertile window lasts, how ovulation symptoms are interpreted, and not having a 20-day cycle does not mean you can't understand your body. I want you to pay attention to bleeding length, the first appearance of discharge, number of fertile type days, when PMS or your period begins. Patterns create clarity. Let's move into the next point. Bloating should be supported, but evaluated in context. Mild predictable bloating can be supported. Some women benefit from magnesium glycinate in the evening, hydration, nervous system regulation. But bloating that is persistent, worsening, paired with concerning symptoms should always be evaluated because bloating is a hormonal signal, not just digestion. Treating symptoms without a context can delay answers, and delays feel heavier when time, age, and previous loss already weighed on your heart. Clarity matters. So this is how to do it. One cycle rarely tells us the full story. Patterns over 60-90 days are far more meaningful. And using a standardized method like the Creighton model ensures you're not just collecting data, but interpreting it accurately. And when needed, a naprotechnology-trained physician can offer restorative care that supports your natural fertility. Ovulation pain, discharge, and bloating are not random inconveniences. They're biological signs. When you track pain with intention, interpret discharge according to your cycle length, evaluate bloating in context, you stop guessing and start understanding. Understanding replaces anxiety with confidence, confusion with clarity, and isolation with direction. You don't need to force your body to fit a template. You need a method that honors how your cycle actually works. Because guessing, month after month, isn't just exhausting. It slowly erodes hope. If you've been paying attention to your cycle, but still feel unsure what it all means, you don't have to figure it out alone. Learning a standardized method like the Creighton model system gives your observations direction. So you're not just tracking symptoms, but understanding them and knowing when to seek real support. If you're curious whether this kind of guidance could help you, I'll share ways to learn more in the show notes. Remember, ovulation pain, discharge, and bloating are not random. They're meaningful signals to make sense within your unique cycle. And that's a wrap for today. Keep tracking, observing, and learning from your body because every sign has a story to tell. I'll see you next week with more insights to help you understand your cycle and step confidently into your fertility journey.
I'm my mama's little fertility helper. If this episode has helped you or if you feel a little more hopeful, leave a review. She'll love it.
Hi, DTC Warrior. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, please leave a 5-star written review on Apple Podcasts. It truly helps to get this show into ears of more women who need it. And be sure to sign up for my weekly encouragement, tips, and insights straight to your inbox. I promise to keep it practical, hopeful, and faith-friendly. All right, I'm off to tacos, chocolate, and turn my cycle. I'll meet you back here next week. Bye.